doesn't like us? No! This is not what I wanted. This is not how I planned this. Don't y'all hate when you plan something and it does not go as planned? Okay, hold on 1 second, guys, because we were planned for something different. Yes, it goes higher. You would think we did not have it all worked out. Okay. Prince, get down. Okay. I don't even think this wants to stay in here. Sorry, guys. Working out my kinks. Oh my gosh. Yes, it just wants us to do it like this, and I don't want to do it this way. Hey guys, so we had the camera set up and everything ready to go. And then all of a sudden, like as soon as I hit live, it all just went to crumble. So give us a minute and I'm going to reset the camera and then we'll go live. But I'm going to mute you guys for like 1 minute while we fix this camera situation. Sorry. Okay. Sorry, guys. Can you hear us? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear us. Someone put in the chat if you can hear us. Put it up on this screen. This is so not funny. Not funny. Okay, let me. So I know they can hear us because I can hear it on my own television. Okay. Hello. Hello. Okay, so we had it all set up like tripod ready to go, okay? And then it all just did not work right at 7:29. But we did all our prep, and I'm so sorry that we didn't start on time. And I still want to move this camera back, so hold on one second. Okay. Yes, this is better. Okay, so as you can see, I have a special guest. Hi. This is my realtor. I have used her twice, so I'm not bringing anybody to you all that I wouldn't recommend using yourself. Like I wouldn't do you like that, but this is my realtor. I've sold a house and purchased a house with my cousin, Katherlene Levels. So, of course, you guys know. Okay, great. Thank you. Both you may know that I am really focused on my finances this year after getting laid off last year. And I was happily laid off, as I told you guys, because I had saved up for that. But I now need to replenish that. And so I'm back on my financial journey for this year, and I'm welcoming you all along with me. So every month we'll go over my budget, what the bills look like, and then we'll dive into a monthly topic. And that's why my cousin Katherlene is here, who is not only an attorney practicing, but she's also a realtor. And so I'll go over my budget. Leave a comment below if you think you know what blew my budget in February. It's not even a question, did I make? I didn't. I ain't make the budget. The budget was blown, okay? I'm just being honest. The budget was blown. And just like last month, I'm here telling you I blew my budget with a straight face. I have no regrets. I needed all the things, okay? All the things. So in February, I'm going to stick to my goals. Did I meet the goals? If this is your first time here, I set 5 goals for myself. Let's see. Savannah was part of blowing the budget. Yes. Yes, Savannah, if you guys don't know, I got a wig made last month. I told you guys in last month's budget and review that I was getting this wig made. Here she is.
It's beautiful.
Thank you. Yes. Look, she is here, and I am very happy to debut her on this live. And as I told y'all last month, I didn't care how much she cost because she fit into the lifestyle that I need to have. So for those of you all who didn't watch my last video, which you should, it's my monthly favorites. I did tell you about how much it costs, but I'll give you the very exact total this month. I have my little notes here. So I have 5 financial goals for this year, and I'm going to go over those very quickly. Number 1, I have a goal to pay off all revolving debt. Am I on track? Let's see. Oh, the bee buzz. No. The bee buzz, that's what blew January's budget. So, we got the bee buzz under control. Let me just say that. But did I pay off all revolving debt, or am I on track? And I will say yes, I'm actually ahead of schedule, and I'll tell you why. So in February, so last month, I paid off $2,804.88. That is $400 more than I thought I would pay on my debt. And I will tell you why that's more in a minute, because it's something that could happen to you guys as well. So in total for January and February, I have already paid off $6,096.42. Yes. Now, how much debt did I start the year off with? I started the year off with 14,469 American dollars. Okay, so these are not pesos. Okay. Thank you. So yes, I am. When I told y'all I was just getting rid of that debt, even if it's 0% interest debt, I'm getting rid of it. Now, my goal, just a reminder, is to pay off all of my revolving debt by July 1st. So by mid-year, I want it all paid off. Now, why am I ahead of schedule? Because I'm not trying to be ahead of schedule to pay off the debt. I think I already have a quite an aggressive plan. But you remember, you guys, I also had this goal to have no new debt. And so then that meant I was trying to pay off all my credit cards to a 0 balance every month. So like if I put my groceries on the credit card, that's a normal expense. And so I would normally just take my cash and pay off the groceries, and then my balance statement would say you don't owe anything. Now, when it came to my American Express, at the end of January, I did just that. I calculated all of my monthly expenses that had been paid for on my Amex, and I sent them about $400 to cover that. And I thought that meant when February came, I wouldn't have to pay for that. That is not what happened. And this is a warning. If you do a Planet where if you put a large balance on an account, or and they say, oh, you can plan it month by month. So that's what I did for Prince Mighty's dental surgery. I used a Planet. So his $2,000 got broken up into 12 monthly payments, and I don't have to pay any interest as long as I pay $175.61 a month. Sounds good. But if I pay anything extra on my American Express for that month, it does not go to my new purchases. They take the money and apply it to the Planet. Has this ever happened to anyone? Or are y'all smarter than me? Or are y'all just not trying to pay off y'all credit cards to a 0 balance like I am ahead of the statement? And this is where my issue lies, is that I did all of this before the statement. Chase does the same thing. Yeah. Okay, so now the thing is, I have to wait for the statement to arrive to pay off the new purchases. I don't care how much it is. So when the statement comes, it's going to say I have a balance. And I'm going to have to be comfortable waiting on that instead of paying it off so that my statement says 0. Because I sent so much to Amex, that Prince Mighty's $2,100 dental surgery, he only has a $600 balance on it now. Like I gave all that extra money, but it only went to that and not to my purchases. So I actually then had to turn around in February and pay that again. But I called Amex to see if they could not let me do that, and they were like, "No, ma'am, you already paid. Just pay again."
Can you move it around?
Yeah, I was like, "Can you move that to the?" They were like, "No." So that's just a tip. If you all use like the Planet feature, it's not always in your best interest to pay it off early or pay your bill off early. Wait for the statement and don't pay any more than they tell you to pay. That's what they told me. So that's my little, let me get off my soapbox now about why I'm ahead on my debt repayment. So anyway, I also have another goal. Save $18,000 towards my emergency fund. And that is the 3 most expensive months of the year for me. That is how much it costs for me to live in January, February, and March. I told you guys I have insurance, flood insurance, Prince Mighty's vet, like car expenses. They all happen in the beginning of the year. I feel very, very poor around this time of the year. And so I took the 3 most expensive months for me to survive and said, I'm going to add those 3 months to my emergency fund. I did not save any money in February, but that's going to change starting in February. In March, this month. So in March, we're going to save money. And I already know that because I already started saving it. How about that? So I'll let you guys know next month how much I save towards that amount. Let's see. Save for a new car and save for home remodeling project. I just gave my cousin a tour. She hasn't really been to the house since I started the renovation. She saw some pictures. And so then I got to the top floor and I was like, and this is where I want all the renovations to go. So she has seen the vision. Is anyone else planning to remodel their house this year?
I don't know about this year. I'm working on it.
Okay. I have a multi-year plan. This month makes 2 years of me living in this house, March. I moved in like the first weekend in March. So I've now been here 2 years. 2 years of remodeling. Honestly, I can see myself with 3 more years of remodeling to go.
Yeah. Process.
It's a process.
It's a process.
Is anyone else like that? Have you ever taken on like a long-term remodeling project? Because it's not for the faint of heart, let me tell you. It is not, but I'm going to start saving for that next month as well. Okay. Now my last goal. This the one I'm not hitting on all cylinders. I'm not doing very well. And that's the part where I'm not supposed to add any new debt. So the problem is I can always pay off debt. But I need to stop adding debt. Now, what did I charge on my credit card this month that it wasn't in the plans? Number 1, Jill Scott tickets. I got a little email that Jill Scott was coming to town in June. And I was like, oh, that's like Father's Day weekend, but I'm a plan something else for my dad, my brother, and my boyfriend. And so I'm not going to go see Jill. Now, I've seen Jill Scott in concert 3 times. So sometimes if you've seen somebody, you can miss them. My boyfriend was like, no, whatever you were planning, we could go see Jill. And so one Friday night while I was, outside. I'm going to just say I was outside. I just pulled up my phone, bought Jill Scott tickets. That wasn't in my budget. But how you say no when he said he wanted to go see?
It's Jill Scott.
It's
Jill Scott.
So, okay, number 2, I told my boyfriend that I would pay for our birthday trip this year. He paid for our birthday trip last year when I turned 40. So I told him this year I had budgeted for me to pay for it. Now, I had budgeted for it, but not in February. See, that's the thing. You guys know I set up an annual budget. So, what'd you say? Jill Scott is an investment. That's what your husband said. Katherlene, do you have Jill Scott tickets in your budget this
month?
Sound
like he planned
Yes. Eric is dropping hints in the chat, let me tell you. So, let me tell you. I said I would pay for our birthday trip this year. It's going to be in July. So, I put that I would start paying on the trip in March, May, and June. Because I figured you would have to pay like different times, right? I did not have that I would pay in February. So when he asked me if I was paying and I said yes, and then he hit me like the deposit due tomorrow. I wasn't ready. So that went on my credit card. And then lastly, it's clothing. And I didn't buy that much clothing, but I had a zero budget for clothing. And so, to be honest, I ain't had no business buying nothing. So that's what's tripping me up. I need to do better with that. So that's my little budget overview of February. That's where I am on my goals. That's what's not looking good. Now I'm going to go over the bills part. Because this is the budget and the bills. Because I could be okay with the budget, but sometimes, like last month in January, the bills got out of hand, as I told y'all. So in February, my focus was on reducing my bills. Let me be honest. And if anyone else has ever gotten rid of bills, leave it in the comment below. I'm the queen of getting rid of a bill. I can do so much with my budget because I get rid of bills. So last month, I got rid of 2 subscriptions. I wasn't using them. I used to watch shows on these networks and stuff. My shows went off. I don't even watch TV. I watch ESPN. I watch NBA. As long as I can watch NBA TV, ESPN, and TNT, I'm pretty much good. So I got rid of 2 subscriptions. Also, I called Verizon, my cell phone carrier, and I told them I would like their customer appreciation discount.
The one.
That's the one.
That's the one.
Yeah. Okay. I've been with them a long, long time. You all can try it. Try it. Leave a comment below. The lady gave me 30% off. My bill used to be $153. She then told me, Ms. Caraway, your bill will never be over $110. My bill for March is $107.52. She was not lying. Go ask for some discounts.
Yes, speak up.
Because they give them to you. Trust me, call your cable provider. I call Sirius XM every year and tell them I need the customer appreciation discount. And they said, okay, no problem. Do you want to pay the same $7 you paid last month or last year? And I say, yes. Yes, I do. Because I do not want to pay $24.95 for Sirius XM. Although I do enjoy having it in the car. So get rid of y'all bills because I'm trying to get rid of mine. Okay, also, my friend Nichelle is in the chat. Hey, Nichelle. Everybody say, hey, Nichelle. So Nichelle has let me borrow her smart thermostat because she's rich and she has a whole bunch of them, right? And so I've been borrowing hers. I bought one that was for the third floor, and then for the first two floors, I have a separate AC unit, and that unit I'm borrowing her smart thermostat. I have saved so much money with these smart thermostats. Like my electricity bill compared to what I paid last month. Let me see. Try using the chat bot. Yes. Yes. Love it. If y'all leave tips below on how y'all get rid of bills. Yes. Nichelle ain't paid for AT&T in so long. Well, now she got somebody else. She fired AT&T, but yes, get rid of the bills. They be waiting on y'all to call, but y'all don't call. I call. I be like, ooh, this high. Yes. Let me call them.
I call them too.
Yes. And they will give you the discount. And it works with interest rates. If your interest rate is high on your credit card, just call them. They'll lower it. Okay. So my electricity has gone down this year because I installed these smart thermostats. It's like probably 30% less than what I paid last year at the same time. And I have the exact same electricity company and everything. I didn't change. So that also has helped me with my bills. Okay, now, as y'all know, everything ain't good because when it comes to the bill, I have one expense that is out of control. Can you guess what it is?
The shoes.
No, not the shoes.
Shoes and clothes. That would be my guess. What is it?
Eating out.
Oh yeah. That's everybody. That was bad. Yeah.
It's out of control. Like, I budget $200 a month to eat out, which is only like 2 meals at this point. Given these H-Town rates of eating out, that's it. And that's me as a single person. You as a family, y'all probably eat out for $200 each time.
It's crazy.
But I've been spending $600 on average between January and February. I told y'all I keep it real with y'all. I'm being honest about what's tripping me up. What's tripping? If it's not eating out, what's kind of tripping up your budget? What is blowing up your budget? Because eating out is blowing up my budget. And I can't negotiate the rate down at the restaurant like I can with Verizon.
I wish we could.
Okay, so lastly, I'm going to give y'all an update on some things I left y'all hanging on last month. Number one, how much was Savannah? I told y'all I was going to pay Erica whatever she asked me to pay. The Prince Mighty get down. Between making the wig, cutting the wig, custom color, styling her on my head.
You gotta get it all in there. Get it all. That's so they can see it all. There you go.
I paid with a tip $476. That's with the tip. She deserved the tip. I don't care. I'm at this point where health is wealth. It's not in the budget, but when I pay for a wig so that I can work out and then look professional on camera, that's me reclaiming my health. So I'm going to keep wearing this wig and all the others so I can keep working out. I didn't care how much. It's an investment in my health. Like Eric said, Jill Scott was an investment. She's an investment and she's worth it to me. Okay. Also, I was afraid of how much going to New Orleans during Mardi Gras to see Anita Baker was going to cost me. But thanks to my lovely boyfriend who basically paid for almost everything, I only spent $216.97 for in our whole entire time in New Orleans. And that also included like little gifts I brought back to my parents who dog sat for me. So that was nothing. Thanks, Pooh. Much appreciated. Okay, now, lastly, did I have to pay anything on my Chase credit card bill? Y'all remember I told y'all Chase was giving me all these credits because I stayed at hotels and I had so many flights. And I guess I was just using all the things they would give you a discount on. The answer was no. I thought I would at least have to pay $119.07. And they said, no, you don't. So those rewards help. I'm just saying, they really helped. Okay, that is all for my budget and bills portion. We are now going to go into the special topic. Does anyone have any questions first over my budget and the bills? Anything from January? If you didn't watch it live, but you had a question, you can leave it below. And anything from February. I'm going to take your question now before we get into the hot, juicy topic of home ownership. Yeah. Thank you, Eric. Yes. Savannah is self-care. Oh, speaking of self-care, let me tell y'all something else that blew my budget. February was a blow money fast month. And it's the shortest month. I was so glad when it was over. I was like, I can't squeeze another thing into February. Lord have mercy. So I always plan Valentine's Day for my closest girlfriends, right? And we go to the Four Seasons here in Houston and we have spa treatments. And I thought I was doing something really good because I actually put Valentine's Day in my budget. And I budgeted like $75 for lunch because we ate in the hotel. And you already know, eating in a restaurant in a hotel, it's going to cost you a little coins. So I budgeted for that, and I budgeted $250 for my treatment. Why was my treatment $415 though? So I am trying. I make a budget. I see. But it's so hard in 2023 to align, self-care, as my cousin-in-law just said. It is so hard to align the actual cost with the projected cost. Does anyone else feel that way? Like you go in and you think something gonna cost X amount, and then you get the bill and you be like, I didn't know.
Eating out.
That's what does it for you.
How much do we eat?
Yeah. And why am I still hungry? Yeah. So you are so right. Today's price is not yesterday's price. You are so correct. And I feel like I was using yesterday's price in my budget. When I did my budget for this year, it was totally yesterday's price. I'm not gonna lie, because, and I wouldn't change it. Again, I don't have any regrets. It's not like I'm gonna say, oh, I'm not gonna do that in the future. It's just whatever I plugged in, you guys, is not always accurate. And I was talking to my friend Maryland about her budget, and she was telling me how sometimes she got to move her money around like every other day. She got to redo the budget to make it work. And that was me in February. Like every other day, I was like, oh, hold on. I keep my budget on my laptop. I was like, let me open it up again. I got to see what else we can move around, because it was just that crazy. The prices were insane. But yeah, Valentine's Day, I didn't budget that right. I tried though, but I didn't. I was like $150 off. It was bad. Oh, I'm gonna do better. And that's what this is all about. I'm keeping it real. I keep it raw. I don't care. I'm going to do self-care. I'm going to take that time off and hang out with my girlfriends and celebrate our successes for the year. And I'm going to get my hair done. Anyway, now we're going to get to the meat of this topic, which is how to prepare, financially prepare for home ownership. And I will tell you all this, and we've talked about it. She agrees with me. Before you think about financially preparing for home ownership, you need to physically, mentally, and emotionally prepare for home ownership. Home ownership ain't for punks.
Not at all.
Home ownership will drag your nerves in the ground. You will be like, why did I sign up for this? And why did I give these people my money for this? If y'all go back to 2021, you will see that I probably only uploaded 2 videos that whole year. It's because I bought a house that year. And I think in one of the videos, I was crying about this house. Like, it was not, let me bring myself down. Owning a home is hard at times. You're always on this spectrum of, oh, I love my home, or this is a money pit. You're somewhere, I feel like everybody, it could be any given day. You could go to sleep, oh, I love my home, and wake up and your toilet won't stop running. And you be like, what? I didn't even use the toilet last night. Why is the toilet turning on me? Y'all got to get mentally ready for these Jedi mind tricks that home ownership can play on you. And when you are like, yes, I'm ready for that, then you can financially prepare. I'm just letting y'all know. Because I've owned 2 houses, but I was also a very, very happy renter in between there. Because I had to, after that first house and the flood, and then when I sold it, I was like, I just need to collect my thoughts.
Yes. Okay. It was a lovely home.
It was a lovely home. And my realtor helped me sell it for a record price. I don't think my neighborhood had ever sold a house for that amount. And I just made off like a bandit, like, and goodbye. Yes. I said, I'm out. And I went to my little apartment in the sky and was very happy. So make sure you are emotionally, physically, mentally ready before you start. And then you'll be ready. And the first tip to financially prepare is?
So knowing when you're ready, the timing.
The time.
Knowing when you're ready, getting the timing right. So when do you start reaching out to people? Am I ready? Am I not ready? Is it the right time? And making sure you're in that. Like, are you about to end your lease? Don't wait and call a realtor the week before. You need to be out of your apartment. I'm just saying, we'll try to find you something, but give us a little bit of time, you know.
Give yourself time.
Yes, for sure.
Tip number 1.
Yes.
Give yourself, your realtor, your lender, your moving company, all of these people need time.
Yes, indeed, for sure. So all of the stuff about the budget and the bills, you need to be doing that beforehand, working on that, starting that process so that when it's time, you are prepared and you've kind of given yourself that time and not jump in and we're ready to move in 2 weeks. Yes, you can move in 2 weeks. Yes, you can close and do all that, but you want to not rush the process. You want to be fully prepared for it. Give yourself time at a minimum 3 months before you're ready to move. You want to start reaching out to people, but that's a minimum now.
A minimum. That's kind of tight.
Yeah, that's real tight. But you really want to start thinking about it maybe a year to 6 months in advance as far as the process in getting your money right, reaching out to lenders, reaching out to your realtor, checking your budget, finding out what you like, all of those things. You want to have that start the process and start thinking, okay, I've made the decision. That's the first thing, make a decision. Do I want to move? Do I want to buy a house? Once you've made that decision, okay, then you want to be at least 6 months away from there to when you start getting your finances in order.
And the first thing that she mentioned to me that you need to give yourself time to do is pull your financial documents.
Yes.
And why is that so critical? And because a lot of people watching this probably haven't owned a home and they don't know what you mean.
Yes.
Or what I'm talking about pulling these financial documents.
So giving yourself time to find things and have your financial documents to ready. So when you go and apply for a loan with a lender, they're going to ask you for everything. They're going to ask you for W-2s, 1099s, how much, you're paying, what's your income. And if you don't have that stuff, some people don't have it. A lot of employers don't even give out pay stubs anymore. You're going to have to, okay, where do I log in? Where do I go and get this? So making sure they say, how much do you have saved? Okay, let me see. Have I even checked my 401k? Do I know how much is in there? You want to have all of that available. And then they're going to ask you for these documents, and sometimes they're going to ask you for them more than once. So if you keep it in the storage box in the attic, in the back of the closet, you want to pull all of that stuff out and have it readily available so that every time they say, can you send me that W-2 from 2020 again? You have it and you're not having to go look for it every time, because that can make the process frustrating for you if you're saying, well, I have to go back and dig to it again. Keep all of that together, start getting organized, have your documents organized so that they're ready to go and you can get those to the lender quickly and get your application in and get ready, because the lender, it doesn't take them long. They can give you a pre-approval letter in a day. You give them their information, your application, they'll get your pre-approval the next day. But what takes a little bit longer is once they start going in, they need your bank records, they need your tax returns and all those things, and sometimes you're going to have to give them to them more than once.
It takes a while. I'm the person who hates even filing my taxes. I'm the latest person to file taxes, mainly because I don't want to pull all the documents that you have to, or that I would have to do to file my taxes. Getting prepared to buy a house is like filing your taxes 10 times in 6 months. And that's all I'm going to say. That's how much they going to dig in the dirt, in the weeds. They going to ask you about different parts of your financial journey. If it's not a straight line, so pulling the documents takes time. So tip number 1 on how to financially prepare is to give yourself time.
Yes.
Tip number 2, credit.
Oh, credit. Oh, credit. So credit. Okay. So the best thing to do, and we're going to go into the other one too, but you want improve your credit as much as possible, and we'll talk about what that is. And then also you want to improve your debt to income ratio. Credit. So your credit score. We talked about in our conversation. My conversation with Stacy was, well, what's the bare minimum? What's going to get you in? And then what is ideal? Because, y'all talking all the finances and everything. We're not just trying to skate by. We can get you in. But, then I've talked to some lenders beforehand and said, what's going on right now? And my lenders are telling me they're kind of tightening the requirements on things. We had, fun time in 2020, 2021.
They let everybody buy a house in 2020.
But you're not too late. You're still good. Everything's still good. But they're tightening the requirements a little bit. But what does that mean? You want your credit score to be good. I mean, you always want that. That's what, we're talking about with budgets and bills, is you want your credit and your finances to be correct. But at a minimum, you can get financing for a home with a credit score of 580. However, the lower your credit score, the more cash on hand you're going to need. So if you got cash that's sitting in the bank, but for some reason your credit score is not there, then that may work for you. But if not, you're going to have to probably bring 20% to the table for down payment if your credit score is 580. Ideally, you're going to want your score to be 680, 700 plus, so that you can get the best interest rates and obviously get the best loan options, because there's not just one type of loan. The interest rates vary depending on your credit score, and so the better the credit score, the better the interest rate.
Okay. So you gave yourself time. You have 6 months until you gotta move, or you want to move into a house. You know where your W-2s, tax documents are. You like, okay, I can start pulling that. You working on your credit. 580 is low. I think 580 is low, but they can get you in, and that's the thing. If the lender say they can get you in, they can get you in, but you're gonna pay for that.
That part.
Okay. Now the next part is where they don't be playing with this.
Well, now wait. Now with the credit score too. Let me say one more thing about that. So how do I work on my credit score? I didn't even tell you that. So what do you do to work on your credit score? How do I make it better? One, we talk about getting documents. You need to know what your credit score is, because some people don't even know when they come, and they're like, okay, how's your credit? You can go to these websites. You can go to, myfreecreditreport.com and all of that. But you can go to Equifax. You can go to TransUnion and get your credit report, see what's on it, see what your credit score is. And then what you want to do is start paying down. You want your to pay down to 30 to 40% of your limit on your. We talk about credit cards. She talking about paying them down. That will improve your credit score. So the things that you're already learning and talking about in this is exactly what you want to do to improve your credit score. You want to pay down your debt to at minimum 30 to 40% of the limit. You don't want to be maxed out on things, because that's going to hurt your credit score. And then with the student loans, this was a tip one lender gave me, was with the student loans, if they're in deferment, which is awesome because we've had all of this deferment with everything going on with the government, but if they're in deferment, and you're ready to buy a home, you may want to consolidate those and put them into repayment. Because if you don't, when they calculate, and I think Stacey's going into this debt to income ratio, they're going to have to count 1% of the balance of your loan in your debt to income ratio, versus just using that monthly bill that you're paying as a part of your debt to income ratio. So if you can pay those things down, consolidate, all of that's going to help your credit score to be better. And then if you have any collections that you've had on your credit, get those cleared up. Take care of them before you start this process, because you want your credit to look as good as possible when you're going in there and applying for a loan and say, give me $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 to buy this house. And then we talk about debt to income ratio.
Yes, that's third. I will say, every time I bought a house, the year before, I paid down all my credit card balances to zero. And when I did the no buy in 2019, because I knew I was kind of getting tired of living in the apartment, and I was going to have to get rid of some debt, because number 3, the tip is to mind your debt to income ratio. See, it's fine if you managing your budget and your bills, and every month you got it covered. But they don't want you just to have it covered when you're applying for a house. There are certain ratios that they're looking for. So let's talk about debt to income ratio.
So debt to income ratio, what is that? How do I get it? So we're talking about how much you owe, spend, have borrowed from somebody versus how much you're getting in. And the way you can figure out that yourself. You want to ideally be, minimum, we talk about, at least 45% or less, your debt to income ratio. You want that to be 45% or less. But really, you want that to be closer around 33% or lower than that. And the way you calculate that is you add up all of your payments, your monthly payments on your credit report. And then you also include in that your estimated mortgage payment, because they want to know, with what you're paying now plus this mortgage, how are you gonna be able to make it work? And then you divide that by your monthly gross income. So they want to know per month all of what you're paying plus this new mortgage, add that in, divided by your gross monthly, and they want that to be at least less than 45%, but really you want that to be 30, 35% to get really qualified for a loan. And that looks like going in, paying down your balances, consolidating those loans, getting them into repayment, and paying off things. Like you said, stop buying new stuff. We can't
add new debt. Don't be me.
Don't add new debt when you're trying to buy a house. You want to get it down. Unless you're getting a new job and a new salary, but even then, you want those rates.
You don't want a new job if you... we need to talk about this.
Definitely.
Oh my gosh. I almost... Again, y'all have seen me cry on the internet for reasons you didn't know I was crying. Once my job was having layoffs, and I really wanted to be laid off, but I was in the process of buying a house. So Katherlene was like, "You can't get a new job. You cannot get laid off. You gotta keep." Whatever you got now, you got to have the same company. She's like, you can change roles, but you got to stay with the same company. And I was so mad because they was giving away good packages.
It worked out, though.
It did work out. But I could have lived fat off the land with those packages. That's all I'm going to say, okay?
Yes, you want to keep consistent employment. Listen, they're looking for consistent employment. Are you going to be able to make these bills? That's what they want to know. I'm giving you hundreds of thousands of dollars. Are you going to be able to pay it back? So what they're looking at, they want really you to be at your job for a year. But at a minimum, you need to be there 3 months. Get a pay stub. Stay there, though. Don't move around so frequently, because to companies or to a lender, that looks like inconsistency in whether or not you're going to be able to pay your bills consistently. They want something to say, yes, they've been working here, they're staying working here, and they're going to have a source of income to pay me back this money, is what they're looking for. So don't switch jobs during the process, or if you have, make sure, you're there before you start the process. At least 3 months, but preferably they want a year, 2 years, or longevity to show that you're there, and that's going to be a consistent source of income for you.
And that's part of giving yourself time as well. Just a tip. Okay, the third tip is savings. So you gave yourself time, you have your financial documents, your credit score is 700 and above. Okay, your debt to income ratio is good. You've consolidated your student loans and you've paid off credit cards. The next thing after credit, you need some money. You have to have savings. Now, how much should people be thinking to save for a house?
And that's an important question. I'm glad you asked, because some people don't know that. I've had so many people come and say, hey, Katherlene, I'm ready to buy a house. I'm thinking about it. I'm going to do it this year. I want to do it next year. And I follow up with my people. I'll call them back and say, hey, you said you were going to be ready to buy a house in January. It's January. Let's talk. And then, I'm not ready. I haven't saved enough. But then I get to talking to them and I'm like, okay, so how much is enough? How much do you have? And they don't know. You have to know what you're saving for. I don't know when I met my goal if I don't know what my goal is. So you need to know how much do you need to
that
save.
Needs to go on a t-shirt. Okay, let me just say that, but go ahead.
For sure. You need to know. So how much do you need? So most loans you're going to have, there are different loans. I taught you there. FHA, there's conventional, there's VA, there's all different type of loans. But in the general sense, because obviously talk to your own lender, talk to your own realtor. Hopefully that's me. But you're going to need 3.5% to 5% as a down payment. And that's a percentage of the amount you're purchasing. So how much you need is going to depend on what type of house and how much house you're trying to get. 3.5% to 5% down. Again, that'll get you to do it. Ideally, if you want to say, you know what, I'm doing this, I'm going all in, I want to really be prepared, I want to do this thing, you want to have 20% down payment. And what that 20%.
20% of the total home price. Have y'all seen home prices lately? Don't come here talking about you got $2,000 and you gonna save and you ready to buy a house.
We gonna work on the process. We gonna get you on the plan. If you got 2,000, we can talk, but we got
y'all can talk,
but you're not ready yet.
Because, and then this is a question. You don't. It's a lot of stuff you have to save for. So what are we actually saving for?
Yes. So the down payment. What is that? That's the down payment that goes towards your house. You have to pay that to get in the door. You have to pay that to the lender. That's kind of an assurance to them to say, hey, you're good faith and you're gonna pay this. Basically, it's your skin in the game. That's your down
Somewhere
payment.
between 3 and 20% is a normal down payment.
Yes.
So that's just one bucket.
That's one bucket.
That's just one. Okay, number 2.
You have, once you found your house and you get to closing and all of that, you have your closing costs. Closing costs include your prepaids, like your taxes, your insurance, and all of those. They prepay those for you at closing, so that once you get in, you don't actually have to pay your first mortgage note until probably about 45, 60 days after you close. But that's because you prepaid them at closing. So you got prepayments. And then you also have all of the other things, your tax title, the lender, all of those fees.
Sometimes a survey, inspections.
Yeah.
I got like 3 different type of inspections of the house I'm in right now. Like, it's ridiculous.
So all of these are at closing that you would pay those things. However, before you even get to closing, what Stacy's talking about, there's stuff you have to have, money that you need to have prepared in your account for the process going through, and that's, you want to pay for the home inspection. Always get a home inspection. I don't care if it's a brand new constructed home, get a home inspection. You will pay for that up front. You'll pay for the appraisal. You'll have earnest money and option fee. Those are all that you submit when you actually submit an application and apply or submit your offer for a house. You have to give the earnest money and option fee at the same time that you say, here, I like this house, can I buy it? So you have to have all of those things ready before you can even get to the closing costs. A lot of people say, well, what about the seller being able to contribute? What about down payment assistance? Those are all great things and great programs. And I will negotiate to get you, hopefully, not paying anything at closing if possible. But you want to be prepared. You want to have your ducks in a row. And if we save you money at closing because the seller gave you money or because the lender had some incentive program, then that's money in your pocket to do decorating, to do buying new cleaning supplies because you're buying an empty house and there's nothing in it, to get your kitchen with the spices and everything because you have an empty house. You're going to need some of that. So you want to be able to have that available and not depend on it in order to get into the house. But then and there's a difference between qualifying for a home, which are the things we're talking about, having your debt to income ratio, getting your interest rate together and having your savings, and then what's in your budget. Those are 2 different things because a lender may tell you, you're great, your credit's good, you can qualify for $450,000. But when they tell you how much that's going to be in your mortgage, you may not want to pay that much per month. You may have other plans. You may have trips that you want to go on.
You might have wigs you need to buy.
There you go. You might have bags that you want to get.
Yes.
You may not want to max out your monthly mortgage.
Somebody.
So know the difference between what they tell you can afford and then going back to making sure, what am I budgeting for? How much can I actually afford each month in my budget? Not what you're going to give me, because they're going to give you the max you can give. They will give it to you as long as you qualify. So know the difference in qualifying and what you want in your budget, and then know that your mortgage consists of a whole bunch of different things. Your mortgage is your principal, your interest, your taxes, and your insurance. So don't just go in thinking, well, this is the mortgage. Sometimes on the credit mortgage calculators online, they give you the mortgage and the insurance, but they're not factoring in your taxes and your insurance. All of that goes into your monthly payment. And so sometimes what principal and interest may be about $600-900, and then you add in that insurance and it's a whole nother thing. So make sure you have all of that in mind and kind of plan for those things. About the down payment. So down payment, we talked about having 3.5 to up to 20% depending on it.
The first time I bought a house, I think I put 3.5% down. I was first time home buyer and I got an FHA loan. No regrets. Low cost to get in. The second time I bought a home, I got a conventional home loan. And I think I put somewhere between 15 and 20% down. I don't remember the real percentage. But just know when we talk about savings, you all saw me save for my house and buy the bags and buy the shoes and get my nails done and get my hair done. And I made sure that when I bought a house, I could continue doing all of that with the house. And I think when we, as she mentioned, a lender will get you in the door and tell you what you can afford, but also they're gonna assume you're not gonna save any more money. You know, they like all your money can go towards the house, but you're like, well, no, I want to save X amount for retirement, or I want to give X amount to my church or to my charity or to my alumni association or whatever. When you're saving for the house and then they tell you how much you can afford, don't fall for the okie doke. I'm telling y'all, don't fall for it. That's my one tip. My second tip of what she said is you always need to have more cash left over after you buy the house.
Yes.
Do not empty your bank account to buy a house. My first house flooded the 5th day I owned it. The 5th day. Lord help. I've been through some things. I was so glad I had cash on hand. I could get people to come in, demo the house so it didn't get mold, do mold remediation. I was able to buy new furniture, move upstairs, buy a mini fridge. I didn't have a kitchen for the first 4.5 months I lived in my brand new house as a first-time homeowner. It took Bank of America about 6 weeks to even believe that the house flooded. They kept sending people out like, yeah, it's flooded, and I need you to run me my flood insurance money. Cut me my check. But until that happened, I needed to live and make my house livable with my cash on hand. You don't know what you're going to find out after you move in that house.
I don't know.
When I moved in this house right here, the day I moved in, the AC broke. The day I moved in. Luckily, it was a nice, cool day. But y'all, I'm just telling y'all, those are 2 tips. When you're saving for a house, you got to save beyond the house.
Definitely. Most definitely. Yes. And that's talk about getting insurance and all that kind of stuff too. Don't flake on it because you never know what's going to happen.
You never know.
Have that in place. But yes, you're moving into an empty house, but we do not want to empty out your bank account in the process of doing it. Okay? So make sure you're prepared for all of that. And for the down payment, you can use different sources. So say I haven't saved, I'm ready, but I need to get out, I'm living with family, this is not working, I'm trying to be independent. There's ways to do it. You can use your 401k. You can get gift money. You can even sell a car, sell your car if but the money needs to be in your account at least 60 days before you start the process. Otherwise, they're going to be like, where'd it come from? You got to explain this.
That's a good tip. I didn't know that. 60 days.
It has to be there at least 60 days in the account. But you can use gift money. You whatever. You're getting married. Somebody gave you a graduation present, or somebody just say, you know what? I want to bless you. I'm gonna give you some money help for your down payment.
Where are those people?
I need them.
Look, I could use a blessing. Anybody in the blessing business?
Put it in the chat.
Yes. If you're in the blessing business, run me a check. Bless me with some cash.
But yes, your down payment could come from any source if you haven't saved it. But you want to be ready for those type of things. And about buying down, because I think you bought down.
Oh yes,
right?
Yeah.
Also, if you have more cash on hand, but the credit thing we talk about, the lower your credit score, you need more cash if you haven't. But you can buy down your interest rate. Say you put the 20% down, and some people are saying now, the interest rates are going back up. One, that's not really true. Yes, they went back up numerically, but historically, interest rates back in the 90s, 80s, 90s, they were 12%, guys. So when we saw them go below 3% a couple of years ago, that was out of the ordinary. So now that they're back like 4 or 5,
normal,
even 6%, that's normal. So please stop saying, "Oh, I don't want to buy right now because the interest rates are high." That's not. It's still good. Now it's still a good time to buy when you're ready. But you can buy down your interest rate. If you're like, no, I still want to get it lower, you can buy down your interest rate, and that is generally 1% of the cost of your loan. So say you want to buy it down, you pay 1%, it can lower your interest rate usually about a quarter of a percent. What is what it would cost you to buy it down. So if you have extra money, seller contributed to your closing costs, and you have that extra cash and you want to use it to buy down your interest rate, then that's something you could do as well. But when you want to do that, talk to a realtor and find out, because it may not be a good situation. If you're not going to stay in the house for 3 years, then you may not see a benefit in buying down your interest rate, because you'll be gone and you'll sell it already. But yeah, those are some big things about getting ready. You want to talk to a lender who knows.
Tip number 5.
Yeah.
Find you a good lender. There are some people out here who say they're a lender. When you have a good lender, like I've had a good lender, she knows my lender. I used the same lender for both houses. That's how you know they good.
Yes.
And I didn't actually buy down my credit. They gave me the quarter off because all of the burdens that I went through 3 times applying, and I stuck with them.
Yeah.
And at the end, they kind of cut my interest rate.
Yeah.
That's what a good lender could do for you. I think my interest rate on my house is like 3.75%. I don't think I'll ever see a 3.75% interest rate for a home again. It was just like really an anomaly.
Yeah. It is.
But that was the work of a good lender and a great realtor. They were like my dynamic duo.
Yeah.
So yes.
And that's the thing. So she says, step 5, get your dream team, basically. Make sure you have a good qualified realtor who knows the market, knows about real estate, is going to work with you really. Personality wise, because you're making a big investment. Y'all are gonna be spending time together, looking at houses. You want to kind of gel with them a little bit, at least, and be okay. And then you want to have a good lender on your team, and your lender's gonna find your appraisal and all of those things. So you want to have a good lender and a good realtor that are going to work together, because those are the people who are going to be doing a lot of the legwork into getting you into the perfect home. And then you'll do everything else as far as knowing where you want to be, what it looks like, whether you want 3 bedrooms or 5, all of that comes later. But first, you got to make sure you're financially prepared and you have the right people in your corner to kind of coach you through it. And if you say like, well, I'm not ready, all this stuff you talked about today, I am not ready, that's okay. You need to start the process, learn what you don't know, because sometimes you don't know what you don't know.
Exactly.
And so talk to somebody, talk to a realtor who's okay with educating you and ready to educate you. Obviously, we want to sell at some point, but get with a realtor who's okay with being in the process with you, growing with you until you're ready to get to that point, and who will stick to you. Because I will be with my people even after, when they're ready to sell or when they're ready to grow or when they're ready to downsize. Then that's a part of the process. You want some people in your corner who are going to work for you and not just get you in the house and say bye. Because my worst nightmare is getting somebody in the house and then they, can't keep that house. So I want to get you in the house and keep you in a house. And that comes with working with the right team and making sure when you talk to your lender, you're not biting off more than you can chew, and being prepared for that whole process.
Any questions? We gave y'all 5 good tips. Let me see. in the chat. Any comments on anything? Any questions for Katherlene while she is here? She ain't gonna be here next month, so don't go to sleep and then be like, oh, I have a question. But no, we're gonna leave her contact information.
Yes, reach out. Y'all can.
Yes, you can reach out to her, but don't leave them on my page because I'm not a realtor. I've just been through the process and cried real tears both times. Okay.
You've been a great client.
That's because I come with my credit right.
She was prepared. Listen, when she's talking about y'all how to get prepared, she came prepared, and that's a blessing in the process. So we appreciate it as realtors when you come prepared.
Yes.
It makes my life and job easier, and yeah. So yes, be prepared for sure.
Yes. I came with credit and cash. She loved me. But
you knew what you wanted.
I did. That's because yes. That's because the first time I bought a house that I really didn't want. So the second time I knew what I wanted. That's part of being mentally, emotionally ready. Like you're more in tune with what you actually want. The first time I didn't know about that part. I was smarter the second time. I was like, I said I don't want no yard. I ain't buying no yard. You know what I'm saying? I was very strong. Any questions, any comments for those of you all who have stuck on the chat? Anything for Katherlene? Okay, so Katherlene has some goodies. We're gonna have a giveaway. So
yes, for people who are ready, I'm going to be giving away this book. It is Your First Home. It's 10 chapters that goes through the process of what you need to do to be ready. Once you get in the home, everything, when you decide to buy, find your agent, securing finances. It's by Gary Keller and Jay Papasan. It goes through everything, making an offer, finding the right home. And I'm going to be giving 3 of these away. When you reach out to me, let me know you're ready to start the process and we can start talking about what that looks like for you. And I will send it to you. I will bring it to you, however we need to do that. But you need to reach out to me. I'm at Realtor K Levels on Instagram. And I think Stacey will put all the information somewhere available. But yes. If you go to...
I'll leave it in the description box below after this live stream goes uploads.
Okay. But yeah, if you go to Realtor K Levels, you'll find my Instagram and it should have all my contact information there too. So I am ready to give these away to the first 3 people who reach out to me and let me know that they're ready or even thinking about getting ready, and we can get you on the track to start your path towards home ownership.
Yes. So many of you have asked how you should prepare to be a homeowner. I hope this has blessed you. And let me tell you, I didn't run down all of my cousin's credentials, but she is definitely a girl boss beauty. She went to University of Texas. What did you major in UT?
I majored in psychology and minored in Spanish with concentration in pre-law.
Yes, and then she went to law school
at Thurgood Marshall, Texas Southern University.
Yes, and she practiced family law.
Yes.
For a really long time.
Yeah.
And you're now a family law mediator?
Yes. So now, I still practice family law, but I don't take any private cases. Right now, my focus is on mediating family law cases. I offer assistance to other solo and small firms as a coach consultant and filling in for them when they have conflicts. But mostly I focus on mediation right now and real estate. So
yes, and she's been a long time realtor. Again, like I bought my first house in 2009. I sold it in 2015, I think. And then I bought this house in 2021. And so she's been with me along my home ownership journey the entire way. She is a mother. She is a wife. She is a first lady, and she is a girl boss beauty. So I just want to say thank you for blessing us with this great content. This Most of the time, people have to pay for this information. I'm just letting y'all know you got to spend a weekend and go to class, and they'll tell you this, and they're not going to be as entertaining, and they're not going to keep it as real.
Yeah.
Because people will get you into stuff, and you won't know how to get out of it. So we're keeping it real. We're keeping it raw. Thank you all. Please like, if you are not subscribed to the Girl Boss Beauty community, please subscribe to this channel. And I will see you guys next month. The first Monday of every month, we do budget and bills review. Next month's special topic is on high yield savings accounts. How to choose them, what's the difference, why you need them. That's what we're talking about next month. So I will see you guys next month. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you.
Bye, guys. Yay.